Welcome, everybody, to the first day of Bahamas with Bob at the Island House Invitational Triathlon. My name is Bob Babbitt. We are sponsored by Island House, Cervelo, Gatorade Endurance, our official charity partner, More Than Sport, and, of course, Babbittville Radio. And speaking of More Than Sport, one of our favorite people on the planet, Mr. Chris Lieto, Mr. More Than Sport. How you doing, Chris?
I'm doing well. Yeah, I'm glad I'm finally here. A little jet lag, but awesome to be here in a great environment.
So give me a little background on when did the whole concept of More Than Sport start?
Yeah, started, a long time ago. I really started when I got involved in the sport. Before I did my first race, I said if I was going to be successful, that I wanted to have a purpose in being a professional and leave something behind. And that's grown to what it is now, being More Than Sport, where early on in 2004, 2005, I did a race in Mexico. And I saw a massive need in Mexico, and I just realized that if everyone would participate a little bit in giving back and being aware of what the needs are in the communities that we race in, that we could have long-lasting impact. And then every year when you come back to that environment, how much that community would change and how much would that community want to support and get involved with the triathlon itself. So that was a starting piece, and now it's growing a lot. Now we do a lot more things with brand partners where we do CSR management for them. We have merchandise partners in our own merchandise that when you buy merch, that goes to impact and causes. And then working with athletes in events like this and doing impact here.
Well, and you were just in Kona, and you guys were doing a bike build there. How many bikes did you guys end up building for the kids in that community?
Yeah, in Kona we did 135 bikes.
That's so awesome.
Yeah.
And you had a lot of the pros, who are getting ready for the biggest race of their life, coming out and building bikes.
Yeah, and that was the real big piece of it, is wanting to engage the community, wanting to engage the professional athletes and just the fans and the amateur athletes that are racing. How do we engage them in participating and giving back? Some people may want to donate and they have finances that they want to give, and so that's an opportunity. But a lot of times people don't want to do that, and so we try to find ways to actively get involved, so volunteer of your time. So a bike build is a perfect opportunity to engage the athletes. It takes 10-15 minutes to build a bike. Then we partner with schools in the community and qualify kids that need bikes and that would really appreciate the bikes. And then we get the athletes to give the bikes to that kid, spend an hour with them, teach them how to ride.
Creates a bond. Exactly.
And that really brings that child more confidence, encouragement, to be able to connect with an athlete, and to be given a bike like that really affects them long term.
What's interesting is sometimes I don't think people realize the power of sport. That like you said, a bike gives somebody freedom, right? You just all of a sudden you got the wind in your face, you can ride around the neighborhood, and you can sort of ride away from your troubles sometimes.
Absolutely. And that's just one piece of it that we can really engage with people. But More Than Sport also in Kona and here as well, we focus on giving to water and food and education and stuff like that. So we really look at all aspects of ways that we can give back.
So here at the Island House Triathlon, what are you guys doing over here?
Here we're doing a bike build again.
Okay.
Because the athletes here have 3 days of racing, and so they're packed, right? And so we want to give them again a chance to do something, and so we're doing that. And then we're going to give the bikes to a local school. We've partnered with Island House as well, that we're looking at long-term impact. So where we're doing a phys ed plan for the school that will be long lasting to really develop that into that school. We also, because of the crisis and the hurricane that hit recently, there's a lot of damage and a lot of need here too. So with that, we also brought water filters. So every athlete that is racing this weekend is building a bike, and every athlete is doing a water filter for a family in need. So we're going to disperse those as well. And then roof repair and some more stuff that we'll do long term, not actually do the work, fixing the roof this week, but help fund it for the long term impact.
So when you were racing as a professional athlete and had a great career, were there times when you'd be out riding your bike going, man, this is pretty darn selfish. I'm just spending my whole day riding, running. Was that sort of the genesis of I need to be feeling like I'm doing something that's impactful beyond just riding, swimming, and running?
Yeah, I think for me it came more of looking at going, if I was to be a professional athlete and I was to retire, you look at most pro athletes in most sports, when you retire, you look at what was my career for and what was it worth? What did I leave with? Right. And a lot of times you end up leaving with trophies or medals and
a few bucks. A few bucks along the way.
Exactly.
But a t-shirt.
But a lot of that really doesn't have long-lasting impact, right? And so it was like, okay, how can I have purpose and how can I find fulfillment? And fulfillment, a lot of times we look for in racing. A lot of professionals and amateurs, we look for wanting to achieve that goal that we set for ourselves to finish at a certain time or win something. And a lot of times when you accomplish that, you realize that didn't fulfill the need or the desire that you were looking for. And so, yes, triathlon is a selfish sport. As a profession, it's your job, so it's not so bad. But it is definitely looking at that awareness of going, how can I give and how can I care? And the name More Than Sport really speaks to what our DNA and what we really want to get across is that it's not just about donating or volunteering to impact. It's creating a mindset that there's more important things in life than just sport. Still strive to be the best, still strive to win, to put that time, that goal set thing in there, but realize when the day is done, your value, your fulfillment doesn't come from your sport. It comes from your family, from your loved ones, to give to those in need, the relationships. This race, this Island House Resort is about all these athletes in a relationship that they have. It's different than a lot of these other larger races.
Exactly. It's only 40 athletes, 20 men, 20 women.
This is an amazing weekend to be able to say, let's just connect as athletes. Let's have sport. Let's race hard. Let's win some money that we can bring home and as far as support our families, but also let's just build relationships with one another and have a good time. And at the same time, giving opportunity to give back into the community to have long-term impact, to leave here when it's done and going, we left a footprint, or we left a handprint.
We left it better than when we got there.
Exactly.
As a guy who really made his name as a long distance guy, as an Ironman guy and 70.3 guy, when you look at, I don't think we had anything like this back in the day, where you've got Olympians, you've got 70.3 athletes, and you've got full Ironman folks, all of them competing on sort of a level playing field.
Yeah.
You like the concept?
I love it. Yeah, this is what got this type of format really got me inspired in the sport. Yeah. Just watching what that they did with the St. George series in Australia, and seeing that and seeing the dynamics of that. So I was always at heart wanting to do short course and wanting to do formats like this, and so I always sought out doing sprint distance races, Olympic distance races, the Malibu Triathlon I would always do before Kona. And I really enjoyed those and did well, as long as it was non-drafting. So this year, it being non-drafting is going to change the dynamics a little bit, and I think level the playing field a little bit, where some of these longer course athletes, the half Ironman and Ironman champions, still have a chance to take it to the Olympic distance.
Well, especially when you have a time trial, right? You're doing a time trial. It's you against the wind and the clock. When you look back at your career, what races stick out to you as your best? Or, not necessarily this was my best performance, this is what I got, but ones that meant the most to you.
Yeah, that's a great question. I would say it was probably in the years of 2008 to 2010.
Yes.
That's when I really did well. Yeah, and it always goes back to that. But that era, I should say, or that time frame, Crowe and I really battled a lot.
Yes, you did.
And for me, it made it so much more fun that there was a rivalry, but it was a friendship in that as well.
Yes.
But we really challenged each other. He pushed me to as far as I could get pushed, and I pushed him as far as he would be pushed. And Boise was a race I didn't win, but I got second, and that is one that I'm very proud of. One I wish I won.
One of my favorite stories from that race is you're leading, and you tell the lead cycling guy who's with you, just tell me if somebody's coming. And the whole run, you're going, anybody come? No, you're good, you're good. Then all of a sudden, what did he say to you?
The last little turn, he's like, oh, crap. He's right behind you. Like, gave me like a 15-second head start.
How about a little something for the effort?
Yeah,
how about like maybe give me a minute heads up?
Yeah, exactly. And so then it was an all-out sprint for about a quarter mile. And I think Crowe ran sub 5 minutes. I think it was like a 4:40 or 4:30 mile. Yeah.
To catch you.
To catch me. And he caught me right at the line. It was like dead tape.
Yes.
Beat me by a quarter second or whatever.
One of my favorite photos is you and Crowe. Was it 08 or 09? One of those years where you end up getting second.
Yeah,
right?
09, yeah.
Yeah, 09.
Yeah.
And you guys were side by side, at what, mile 23-ish or so.
Yeah.
That's pretty fun.
Yeah, that was a great race as well. One I won't forget. Really good journey there. And something that I really got out of that was a part of More Than Sport, And it's not to say, hey, I didn't want to win, or to make it less painful that I didn't win. Of course I wanted to win. But that journey that I went through personally during that race, and then post that race, I think the respect that I gained through that has really allowed more than sport to grow and blossom through the professionals, because we need the professionals' voice is what helps raise the awareness of what's valuable in sport and what we should put our time and minds to. And Luke McKenzie is a perfect example of that.
No question.
You know, he's been
From the beginning.
amazing ambassador for More Than Sport, to see him grow in his performances, but then just in the last 2 years of really his heart to say, hey, I have a platform and I want to do good with it. And that's what More Than Sport's here to do, is to support athletes that want to give back. That's what we do. We want to be the network to connect those dots to really make it easy for him. So we're planning the whole impact stuff for this week. We planned all of it so he doesn't have to think about it.
Right.
So we just do it.
You
And so
come in
any
and,
athlete that wants to do that, we want them to reach out to us, because we want to support the causes and the things that they care about. It's not about our agenda.
Yep.
It's about what that athlete cares about and how can we support them in that. And we do that through planning for them. We do that through experience rewards, where we can raise funds for them to do the impact. And then doing merchandise like this hat or shirt or whatever we have on our website. Anytime you buy a shirt or a hat, instead of saying, for example, $10 goes to charity and you don't know actually where it goes, we say, if you buy this shirt, you can feed a family for a day, or you can put a kid in school or whatever. So it's actually a tangible impact that happens with your purchases. So it's pretty cool.
This is it's a cool new generation of young pros coming in who seem very cause driven, right? Who seem that like they're not more, but they are aware of what's going out there. I bet you have a little pride in the guys who have followed you and are basically following that same path. That, you know what, it's more than me. You know, like you said, it's more than sport, but it's also more than me.
Yeah, and that didn't have anything to do with me, I don't think. I think it's just the generation that's coming up is really aware of their surroundings and really aware of what's important.
Yeah.
And so we're first in this area. I think there's not a lot of companies or organizations that do what we do, and that's really building around impact. And to see the excitement of the young athletes that are coming up, wanting to be involved and wanting to put that effort in and wanting to say, this is what I want to stand for, is awesome. And so to have participation from all the athletes that are here for this event is awesome. I mean, they all helped raise awareness by doing social posts that raised a lot of funds for this, for us to be able to do the bike build and the water filters and the roof repair and the education center and all that kind of stuff. So it's all because of their help and their involvement.
When you see a kid, sometimes we forget you're involved with let's get the bike. You're involved with the organization. During Kona Week, involved in an organization. Sometimes you forget until you see that impact when you present that bike.
Yeah.
That never gets old when you see the impact, not just on the kid, but on the whole family.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was so fun to see, like, Jan came out. You know, he won.
Jan Frodeno,
And then the next day he's there and he is giving away bikes. And to see the connections and the images that we got of the connection of the child to the athlete, and just really the wanting to serve and the wanting to care for that person. And I think that really comes across, and the kids really see that. And it's cool to step away and see not only what it did to the community and what it did to the kids, but to really see what it did with the athletes and the relationship of the athletes and the attitude when they leave the island of, like, okay, that was
more of a connection to the island than they would have otherwise.
Absolutely.
Yeah, love it.
Yeah.
Chris, thanks so much for everything you do. You've done amazing work with More Than Sport.
Thank you.
Love it. Yeah, Chris Lieto has been our guest again. This is Bahamas with Bob at the Island House Invitational Triathlon. Hold on, everyone. We will be right back.